and there's dirt flying. And I said,
It's the same thing.
that's what I want to do.
That's cool.
I said, I want to build
So
one.
what is it about the dirt flying? Is it
I don't know.
the evidence of power?
For every reaction, there's an equal and opposite
Opposite
reaction.
reaction.
Sure.
That's part of it. Thrust. For some reason, I'm fascinated with thrust, be it rocket motor, turbine, full fuel.
Force and motion, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Kinetics, physics, everything
Okay.
like that.
What kind of work have you done?
Um,
Or is that relevant to your passions?
well, I'm weird, so I've done many different things.
Okay. How about you?
So, hang on, let's get to the while he's asking.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So, starting on Friday, well, you got to show him a picture because I'm recording.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so you saw the monolith in Utah? The stainless steel monolith?
Oh, somebody's put a monolith out, took a picture of it, and took it away later. Whatever. I saw a picture on Facebook or something.
Well, now they're popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
So this monolith, they thought it was from this famous guy that died in 2011, but satellite images and Google Maps show that it was actually planted in 2016. So it wasn't who they thought it was.
Yeah. Stainless steel,
Yeah.
looks like sheet metal welded together.
Yeah. Yep. Well, what's that look like?
That looks like blue neon reflecting off the same thing.
Pretty cool.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
What tell them? What's 2 plus 2 divided by 2?
2 plus 2 divided by 2 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Divided by 2 is 2.
PEMDAS.
Huh?
PEMDAS.
PEMDAS. Why are
Order
you
of
asking?
operations.
Oh,
I'm asking you.
I'm not a
this.
math guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Are you?
okay.
You're a math guy. What's 2 plus 2
What's your
divided by 2?
background?
2 plus
What's
2.
your
He's
thing?
a car salesman.
And then I'll get into me. So
Okay.
what's Star Wars over here?
Star Wars is a Toyota salesman.
It's 0.
PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents,
Okay.
multiplication, division, addition, subtraction.
I hate that.
What's 2 plus 2 divided by 2?
I fucking hate it.
2 divided by 2 is 1, plus 2 is 3.
Mm.
The answer is 3.
And it's Brenda.
You said 2 plus 2 divided by 2.
Yes, I did.
Oh, because
And
you're
I didn't
saying
say-
you do
I
the
didn't say
division
2
first or
plus-
something?
I didn't say parentheses 2 plus
That's different.
parentheses.
That's different if it
divided
looks
by
like
2.
it's on paper,
Okay.
okay?
Oh, yeah,
On
you
paper
still
it's
would have got it
different.
wrong.
So, whatever. Apparently, neither him or I are math geeks. So, what's your background besides selling cars and being a Star Wars
So what are you
fanatic?
doing with this video?
This is going to go on my YouTube channel, pretty much raw without edit.
Okay, can you not put my name?
Yeah, me neither.
I can't edit.
Okay.
Cool. I grew up pretty decent family.
What drives your Star
Building.
Wars thing?
Love building things.
Okay.
My dad got me involved in Star Wars when I was a kid. Loved the movies, loved the special effects, and then seeing things actually now that's very, very similar to what's going on back from the movies I watched. It blows my mind. I like to put that out there for my son too. Where do you go?
None yet?
None, yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right. My son kind of has the same passion. He's a really smart guy. Knows his stuff. Loves Star Wars just as
What
much
kind
as me.
of building gets your attention? Is it the architecture, material science? Is it certain techniques like welding or carpentry?
Carpentry, really.
Carpentry.
Yeah. I've been learning a little bit of welding here lately, which is very, very interesting because I grew up in a cabinet shop. That's what my family did. They were carpenters. Learning how to do all that and building a kitchen or...
So let me ask you a question. Okay? And think about this in terms of Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay? You have Tatooine, only it's Mars.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So you've
Yeah.
got a very low air pressure, and it's almost completely CO2.
Yeah.
And trace whatever not breathable.
Okay.
Right? You got 1/3 gravity.
Yep.
And that means that presumably you can build a building far bigger on Mars than you can on Earth.
Okay.
Right? All the kinds of exceptions that the naysayer would say, well, where are you going to get the I-beams? You'd have to ship it in from Earth, blah, blah, blah. Just skip all that crap, right? And say, just on the numbers, could you build it bigger? The obvious answer is, yeah.
Yeah.
All right? Now imagine that you bring bamboo sprouts to Mars. Okay?
How large they would grow.
That's a good question, because lower gravity and using the methods that have been perfected for indoor growing by potheads.
Yes.
Okay? You have sea level air pressure. You have artificial lighting, perfectly timed to each given type of plant, whatever plant you want, right? And you pump up the CO2 from the local gas.
Yeah.
All you got to do is put a 1/4-inch black pipe with a ball valve, right, to and into a solenoid, and hook that up to a CO2 meter on the other side of the room, and it can fart a little CO2 every time it wants into that room, and you convert that CO2 into oxygen and bamboo. Now, as a carpenter, how hard would it be, given the mass budget, to bring rigging or equipment, clamps, all this kind of stuff, to make huge, curved, laminated bamboo beams?
Shit.
It wouldn't be hard at all, would it?
I don't know. I've never done that before.
But you know, if you've looked at a skateboard, what's plywood?
Yeah.
How the fuck hard is plywood to make?
I've built.
It's not.
I've built a couple skateboards, so yeah.
Sure, and bamboo is used to make hardwood floors.
Yeah.
And how do they do that? They laminate stuff.
Yeah.
So you take a product like bamboo, get a good species that's, or probably a whole bunch of different species, and a whole bunch of different samples of each, and you truck the stuff out to Mars once you've got enough of a greenhouse space. You plant it, and you go for high vegetation formula in your environmentals. And you build a carpentry shop. Acorns.
Yeah.
Oak, right?
Yeah.
Oak is a great building material, is
Oak
it not?
A very good building material.
Okay, so is pine, right? Pine cones, right? So you can bring pine cones.
Pine's a very soft wood.
Yes, but it's also an excellent building material for its niche, right?
I've never used pine to build. I've always used red oak or birch.
Okay, but it's still popular, right? Okay, acorns and pine cones brought to Mars can make a whole forest of massive trunks of wood.
That's wild.
So you ship just the programming, that not that some computer guy or machinist made, but that God made.
Genetic programming, yeah.
Right? You bring that program and you put it in that environment, and instead of having soil, you have soilless gardening for oak trees. Because indoor farming is scalable. Just because nobody's doing big plants doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah.
And oak is not a hard tree to propagate. Now, you look at cocoa or other tropical plants maybe, or rare species that we don't cultivate, and you might have a hard time shipping those to Mars until we figure out what does it really take, right? But we can bring coconuts to Mars. Coconuts are also not a hard plant to grow. And you can sequester the carbon in the air in the buildings. and strip out the oxygen. So do you look up the Aldrin Cycler?
I did.
Okay, now what do you think?
It's pretty wild, man. Pretty wild, actually.
Describe it in your words for the camera.
I don't know. What I'm reading on here is
It's fairly simple.
it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward too.
And it comes from the most original thinker from among the Apollo astronauts.
Yeah.
It means that you could have a ship that's essentially permanently in that orbit
Yeah.
doing a ferry run. It's just a ferry run.
Sorry.
So you were interested in force and motion, and we just got onto the subject of the Aldrin Cycler, which he's looking it up. I asked him to describe it in his words, and he's kind of reluctant to.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But it's fairly simple. It's a orbit that the basic arrangement of it is that it constantly cycles past Earth and Mars.
Yeah.
And you could do that with any pair of the planets. You just set the orbit parameters, and then it doesn't have to do very much in the way of course correction. So it's very fuel efficient over the long run.
So are you talking about travel? You
Okay.
caught me off guard here.
Okay. You launch a XYZ PDQ satellite into geosynchronous,
Okay,
right?
geosynchronous.
And
So you're at
on the same
228,000
rocket
miles.
on the same rocket you've got another one
Well, geosynchronous.
that is set for a different orbit,
Yes.
right? Let's say it's free return trajectory around the moon, a quick free
Right.
loop around the moon, and then reestablish orbit around Earth, right?
So you want to use the microgravity from one satellite to pull the next one?
No, I'm describing how orbits can be different to lead towards how the Aldrin Cycler is unique.
Okay, what's the Aldrin Cycler?
But that's what I'm trying to get to by describing something familiar and then step towards the
Yeah,
other.
but what you're saying is having two opposite elliptical
No.
orbits with two
No.
geosynchronous.
No, you're jumping ahead and making assumptions and makes it hard to describe. So there's something I want to get to.
Well, let's talk about something different.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about, Chris?
Yeah, Chris.
I don't know.
Bob. Dave.
At Dijal.
I'm pumped because, I've known Troy for a couple months, but in the last, 3 weeks, he's seen me make stuff, and it's getting him ramped up. And
It's kind of got
I
my
see his
imagination.
attitude.
going,
So
Yeah,
what
you know.
what were you making?
A bunch of.
Well,
If I wasn't filming,
The
I would
monolith.
show you.
I
The
showed- I
monolith.
showed
You
you
didn't
the
like the
monolith.
monolith. I just made a big ass iguana cage. For
the
my
iguana
baby
cage was
iguana.
awesome.
Metalworking?
Yeah. So I like blacksmithing and
So he's a carpenter and you're the metalworker.
yeah.
It's kind of that.
Well,
I'm,
he's
I'm
been
trying
like
to think
a-
of some kind of fusion I could put together with something like that, but it's hard. Like when I look at the aspect of working with metal versus working with wood, like
No, he'll watch me make something real quick and he's like, well, fuck, that was easy.
yeah,
You know, material science isn't that hard if you look at it from
Speaking
basic
of-
principles.
Let's go back to SpaceX. Material
Okay.
science. So the starships after SN5 and beyond are 304L. They're 304 is already a